Hello, hello. Happy Monday. We have a new week ahead of us, and I'm getting ready to dive into a little recap of the week ahead collective energy messages that came up last night on our live. If you attended, thank you so much. If you're catching the replay, fantastic. I have also posted it on my YouTube channel. But if you're here for the Cliff Notes, we're going to do a recap now of the 5 cards that we see that came forward, highlighting each of the days of the week, knowing that they are placeholders, but time is not linear. So these are energies that can show up and intermingle throughout the week. And as I was preparing for the live last night, I was feeling the water elemental, feeling to bring in that energy because we have several cards that touched on this energy of flow and water as a cleansing and clarifying agent, but also even in some different forms, as we'll see in Friday's energy. And there were several cards that had an underlying message about hidden battles, unseen struggles that people are going through. And in some cases, specifically about physical aspects. So illness, injury, dis-ease in the body. In some cases, people that are undergoing testing or processes of getting results and getting clarity on things that are happening on the physical level. And so to open up the card polls for the evening, we talked about that connection between mind, body, and spirit. And I was referencing a book that I use with my color healings called The Secret Language of Your Body by 𝗫𝗍𝗔𝗍𝗍. And it is a fantastic book that helps to make energetic connections with the physical aspects that appear in our body in the form of the aches, the pains, the ailments, the injuries, and dis-ease overall in the body. And so we talked a little bit about what we can learn from those things that is not to replace, but rather a complement to medical care and traditional ways of treating those things, but also getting at the underlying energetic contributors and this idea that energy, emotions, energy in motion, and that when we have stuck emotions that have not gotten to move and come up to the surface, and in many ways feeling like stagnant water, that is how it can present what I call the squeaky wheels, the things that get our attention. So once we start to have an ache or a pain or a thing that prevents itself here on a physical level, we can't deny, we can't ignore. We are moved to pay attention and question and maybe go deeper. So, that not being for everybody, but it's feeling like a little bit of a thread of energy that could be coming up for people on several different fronts. So not just illness or injury, but also just overall feelings of unwellness or low energy, or something then that manifests itself in the physical, in our body, that gets our attention, that we have an opportunity to really tune into. So we'll see how that all weaves out this morning as I go through the recaps, because I love these Monday morning quarterback references, because I bring to it all of the energy that came up in the personal card polls as well, that can help to really expand upon the messages. So we're going to go ahead and dive into that. I will reference throughout, what we're building up to this week astrologically, culminating into the Gemini new moon on June 17th, 18th, so into the weekend, and what we might expect there. We'll be tuning into that as the week goes on. We also have Saturn going retrograde in Pisces this weekend, so that is also going to put us back into that state of pause, review, and going back over things. So again, things coming to the surface, things being clarified. And as I see that now, maybe that Pisces energy is even more why I was feeling drawn to the water element, water being emotion, flow, and of course the element associated with Pisces as well. So we'll get into that as it presents itself. Also, the summer solstice spread is available if you have seen it and you are interested, especially if you would like to have your reading before the solstice. Please let me know if you're interested, because I will be doing those readings interwoven with our empowerment pack. We'll have our new moon reading coming up, and then of course I'll be gearing up for the July empowerment packs and those month ahead energy readings. So if you're interested in the summer solstice, please let me know. I would love to get you on the list and start tuning in for those this week and into next as well. So let's go ahead and check out the recaps for our week ahead. Hello, welcome to our recap for this week ahead's collective energy. So we're going to start with Monday, and we have our big deck here, so we don't even fit all in the frame. We're bringing in the first card, which is the Four of Coins, so the Four of Pentacles. And as I mentioned in the preceding polo, we have the water elemental coming in. And interesting to note, we don't have any cups cards coming up for this week with the element of water, and yet both the Monday and Friday energies are bringing in an aspect of water in the suits of the coins and the swords respectively. And so we have here this energy of this Four of Pentacles, and it is the card that has us taking a look at what we are investing in, what we are holding on to. And because there was this feeling about these stuck emotions or things that have been laying dormant that are coming up to be moved and cleared and cleansed, it kind of feels like this energy of seeing this moat, you know, kind of going around the sandcastle, and the idea of all of the time and dedication and energy that goes into creating a masterpiece like a sandcastle, and the unknowing of its impermanence. This idea that that sandcastle will fall. Eventually the tides will come in, or someone will come along and kick it down, and all of that work and all of that energy will be transformed into something different, you know, and in many ways washed away or cleared away, that we have an opportunity to take a look at what we're investing our energy into and things that we might be holding on to that we might be ready to allow the tide to carry out. This idea that it served its purpose, that it was built over time, and in some cases when we are talking about emotions or ways of being that might no longer be serving us, recognizing that those are things that were put into place perhaps to keep us feeling safe. It was pointed out in the live that some of these creatures we see on the other side of the moat, the crab and the sprite, which was seen to be looking kind of like an alien, this idea of what are we sort of protecting ourselves from, or keeping a distance between us and other things that maybe there is a fear of being hurt or a fear in some way of danger that was connecting us back into the seagull energy, bringing in play and laughter. The seagull brings in the energy of inner child, joy and play, and just creating things for the fun of it. And this idea, and the boy is holding on to coins, and you know, traditionally that Four of Coins or Four of Pentacles has us looking at, you know, what we're holding on to very tightly. So because this card represents our week ahead, we may have an opportunity to be looking at things that we have been holding on to or investing our energy in that are not serving us, or that we have served us, that we can now allow to go with love. And so as I was coming in here today and sort of taking a look ahead at the astrological aspects as well, I mentioned that Saturn will be going retrograde in Pisces this weekend, June 17th. And the idea that, again, retrogrades have us pausing and going back over things. I'm very much getting that tide, you know, the water comes in and it goes out. And this idea that Pisces always reminds me of that because of, you know, what does it drudge up? What comes up to the surface when we go deeper? And so I think in some cases, people who are very sensitive or perhaps already starting to feel that big energy of Saturn and the aspects of looking at the challenges that we have been coming through, and specifically this retrograde is highlighting things that perhaps we were experiencing in March of this year. So again, some coming around again energy of what the tide is dragging in, and as it recedes, what it reveals and what is coming closer to us to take a look at. So really feeling this energy, and of course the beachy vibe. So from a most practical standpoint, summer on the mind for many people, and thoughts about perhaps getting connected in nature in those ways, like time by the water, time on the beach, toes in the sand, or again, just play, just having a little bit of lightness and play in our life. So this week is kind of kicking off that for I know my kids are finishing school this week, so it's an official kickoff to summer break. And also we are heading to the beach this weekend. So I feel that on a most practical level, but at the same time, you know, there's some deeper meaning here that's coming up for people to take a look at, especially if you're starting to feel those twinges of things that are kind of coming up to be seen, felt, dealt. So we'll go ahead and see how that unfolds as the week goes on, but that is our Monday energy kicking off the week.